why is this happening? I
Um,
just
okay. I'm gonna lay it out. All right.
don't
No, I just
understand. I
gotta
really
loosen
don't.
up. Okay, I'm gonna let you know.
If you're not ready to do that, I can
No, I
come
can
back
do it.
another
I can
time.
do it. I'm
Okay.
real good
Okay.
at it. Okay. So, conservatives never do anything for the working people, right?
Right.
They just aren't built like that. That's not what they do. They work for the wealthy, right? And liberals do as well work for the wealthy, but they also attempt to do some things. They try to throw a bone to the middle class at least every now and then. They try to have social programs, safety nets, and things like that for people who are less fortunate, right? They try to sort of evenly split that, right? Whereas conservatives, they just want to hoard it all at the top, right? But they can't just say that's what we want to do. They have to have a marginalized group to use as the folk devil, right? As a folk devil. Sometimes they'll use a couple at the same time, like migrants and trans people, right? Sometimes it's just migrants. Sometimes it's gay and lesbian people. Sometimes it's black people, right? Like they pick a different marginalized group and they use the same script. They're coming for their women, they're coming for their children, right? Um, they don't belong in the sports with them. Guess what? Remember they used to have separate leagues for black people?
Yeah.
Um, they don't belong in the bathrooms with us. Remember when they did that?
Yeah. Yeah.
And they did that multiple times because it wasn't just during Jim Crow. It was also from the 50s to the 70s with queer people. They never got a law passed, I don't think, maybe in some local municipalities, but they said that lesbians shouldn't be in the bathroom with straight women um, because they would predate upon straight women and girls, right? They said gay men shouldn't be around boys. They said that queer people would indoctrinate kids, so they should not be in positions like teaching and things like that. Because they can't make their own kids, right? They just use the same script again and again. They just change it slightly, but it's always us us upstanding gentlemen are going to protect the ladies and the girls from these predatory monsters, right? And meanwhile,
Right.
they're the ones
Right.
that actually do assault their own wives and children, right? And they're the ones who sexually assault other people's wives and children and their own wives and children, right? Like, and or their nieces or their nephews, right? Because when it comes to kids, they don't care about the gender of the kid. They just assault, right? Because it's about power and control. And so these same people that send their sons into public bathrooms with men all the time, thinking nothing about it, are suddenly concerned about their daughters because there's a possibility of a man putting on a wig, right? So they mischaracterize us, they demonize us, and they put the crimes of themselves onto us. And then when they punish us, it looks like they're doing something to help regular folks.
Most
They
people I
haven't done
know,
anything but create a shadow to box at, except
yeah.
that shadow is actual human beings.
Yeah. That makes sense. That makes sense quite a bit. Yeah, it just I feel complacent right now.
Prince,
And
that's not how it works. But in my early transition, I went to the men's room. And then it got to the point where it was too dangerous for me to go into the men's room. So I just pissed in the fucking bushes for months because I was terrified of you. I was terrified of cisgender people. And so I went between cars in a dark parking lot. It wasn't necessarily safe either, right? But it was safer than going to the bathroom with people like you. And then eventually my sister dragged my ass to the ladies' room when she saw that I wasn't even ordering drinks when we went out because I was terrified to go to the bathroom. Because at that point, nobody cared. And I went and I have been going ever since for the last 4 years. I have been using ladies' rooms and nobody has cared. Nobody has noticed. Nobody has batted an eye. I've even made friends in the bathroom. I've passed toilet paper under the stall. to
I love
someone who ran
that.
out, right?
Yeah.
I have
Yep.
pads in my purse in case someone needs them
Yeah.
because I'm here for my sisters.
So, have
You
you
don't
experienced any
know
troubles
us.
lately?
You know yourself and you know what men are like. You don't know us. You know what cisgender men are like. They're the creeps. They're the ones that sneak into the bathroom when no one is there and then try to take pictures under the stall gaps. They're the ones that just bum rush women in dark parking lots. They're the ones that assault their own family members. They're the ones.
Um,
Or become
That's
president?
your group. Yeah, they're the ones that assault a woman in a dressing room without putting on a wig, right?
just
Trump didn't say he was a woman in order to assault E. Jean Carroll. He just did it. And then y'all
just
elected him president. So miss me with that shit.
It
You're
doesn't
just
even make any
making
adding
up a
sense.
boogeyman that you can then attack and then pretend that you're doing something when you're not fixing the problem.
just to
Yeah.
You're
add some
allowing it to fester.
the the other week here in New Zealand at a campsite. My friend was at a campsite.
Okay, hang on, hang on.
And
Prince, here's the thing. We're getting our rights taken away because of questions like yours. Because of questions like yours, where you take the crimes of men and put them on us. And I know you don't realize that's what you're doing, but that's what you're doing. You're perpetuating the rhetoric that harms us, that leads to us unaliving. So if you think that I'm getting a little upsetty spaghetti here, it's justified.